We just finished up with the North America International Championships and we saw Mega Charizard Y take another victory in New Orleans, even if we didn't see it on Championship Sunday in the Masters Finals. Instead, both players leaning into their Mega Aerodactyl to set speed control with Tailwind and cover the matchup into the opposing Charizard with Rock Slide. But today, we're going to talk about one of the Pokemon who is outpacing all of its peers in usage, Kingambit. Kingambit has been a monster throughout all of Pokemon Champions so far, and today we are going to talk about it and try to spot some ways you can prevent from taking a Sucker Punch from one of the most used Pokemon and Pokemon Champions. If you enjoy this content, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hype the video. A new regulation is coming soon, today, based on when this releases, and we may see some good answers for Kingambit up here, and we'll be here to talk about it. Kingambit has seen around 45 to 50% usage in Phase 1 of each Indianapolis, Turning, and NAIC. Phase 2 has been at least 60% for all three of these, with NAIC leaving it at 70.7 usage. These are peak incinerization numbers, with one of the biggest reasons is the Big Six composition that's going around. Kingambit has a prime spot, but also its ability to cover a lot of matchups with its strong stats, priority Sucker Punch, and ability to Defiant, punishing Incineroar, which is one of the best fake out users in the format, leaving your opponent with either the choice of slowing you down with fake out or boosting your already powerful Kingambit. When looking at why Kingambit started seeing such high usage, you have to look at the Basculegion matchup. Sucker Punch will either force the Basculegion to take a decent amount of damage unless it has the Focus Sash, while Black Glasses usually always gets the KO. Basculegion's early meta dominance on both Rain teams and the Big Six basically require you to have Kingambit to not get swept by a Last Respect's Choice Scarf Basculegion. This aids Charizard Y on the Big Six teams, but also against posing Basculegions and chunking a lot of other things in the process. Another Pokemon that gives Charizard and Garchomp a problem is Mega Frostlass, threatening weather control to slow down Charizard Y and threatening huge damage on Garchomp with Blizzard. Not even Mega Frostlass with decent bulk investment and Veil can take the 1-2 combo of Kowtow Cleave and Sucker Punch. Other early format threats like Archaludon, Tyranitar, and other Kingambits can hit your Kingambit hard, but will have to take a low kick in the process. T-Tar and other Gambits fall to a low kick without Chople Berry, while Archaludon takes these the best around 40% damage before any stamina boost, but that's still a decent chunk, especially against an Archaludon. Finally, there are the fairies. Later regulation MA meta has actually seen Kingambit starting to drop Protect to carry both Iron Head and Low Kick. Iron Head is important for the fairy matchup because fairies resist both the dark type moves that Kingambit carries as well as Low Kick on Kingambit as well. Iron Head from Kingambit, on the other hand, has the capabilities to OHKO Mega Floette, Sylveon, Whimsicott, and Mega Gardevoir, while taking 40 to 50% from any fairy move that isn't Light or Ruin or Hyper Beam. Basically, against these fairies, unless Kingambit's doubled up on, you can get off at least 2 attacks. If one of them can OHKO the fairy type, you're in a pretty good spot. And while Kingambit's play might seem straightforward, recent adaptations have seen it fit into teams, especially, the Big Six composition, even better. Chople Berry isn't used as much with Sneasler's usage slowing down and them leaning towards more bulk. Black Glasses is back up on Kingambit because everyone was calcing for Chople Berry at the beginning, while we saw variations originally coming from the Japanese championships with Akaberry, which allows it to stay in against a Charizard at least once, and Focus Sash as well, allowing Kingambit to get at least 2 hits off, which is sometimes all it needs to serve its role on the team. The main issue with playing around Kingambit is usually its best counters are also its partners. Garchomp and Charizard can both hit Kingambit for great damage. You'll probably end up leading your own Garchomp and Charizard or Aerodactyl and Sylveon to deal with the things that threaten Kingambit. While Sneasler can still hit it hard, especially if the Kingambit doesn't have the Chople Berry, Sneasler has been going lower in usage compared to the beginning of Pokemon Champions, and once again, most teams will have an answer to Sneasler as well. Ensign can hit it with a good Flare Blitz, but then you're giving Kingambit a Defiant boost in the process. Kommo-o is probably your best answer, allowing Aura Spear to do great damage even before the Clangorous Soul boost, and it's another reason why it's seen pretty often on those Gengar Perish Trap teams. Going back to its recent item variety, based on what item you're dealing with, or whether it actually has Protect or not, can change the approach to facing Kingambit, especially if it's the Kingambit that counters your Kingambit. Especially if you have the low kick or the Chople Berry while your opponent might not, or vice versa. Thankfully, Mega Raichu is coming in the next format with the option to have a no guard Focus Blast to wipe out any Kingambit that doesn't have the Chople Berry, with just no stat investment in a Timid Nature. We could see items return like Flame Orb that might allow Conkeldurr to be a decent counter, or Mega Blaziken to stop Sucker Punch with a strong upper hand that can also KO most Kingambits in the process. Either way, I don't see Kingambit going anywhere anytime soon in Pokemon Champions. Assault Vest isn't even out yet to make those 4 attack movesets even stronger. Who knows what we'll see in Regulations MB, but I'll start talking about it as soon as we know, so don't forget to follow, like, subscribe to keep up. What do you think about Kingambit, and how do you handle facing it in Pokemon Champions? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoy this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Zach, and we'll see everyone later.